Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS on YouTube only. And today, we're going to be looking at Riffer. Wow. Wow, I'm absolutely at a loss of what to say. Thank you for those who are still here. Sorry the show is running a little bit late. Hey, YouTube, there you go. That's for you. So I don't even need to say if you're watching over on Facebook, because you're not. If you're watching on Twitch, you're not. You're just watching here on YouTube because who knows? Don't even know what's going on. There you go. So, yes, YouTube exclusive today. Yes, indeed. Screw Facebook. Screw everything else. It's quite odd what is going on. But, you know, things do go on. So now that we're here, you can watch the show. I bet you can watch the show live over at the website at How to App on iOS. That's one thing you can do, yeah? And let me show you that, because that's actually working, I'll bet. If we go over here, this is the website at How to App on iOS, and if we go over, it should be playing, and it is. So there's the chat. You can see, you can watch the show live there every day. This is the website. It has merch, all this kind of stuff. It has the gear guide. All of the episodes, you can all be found in handy dandy little playlists of separated into instruments and all this kind of stuff. Also from the website, you can check out my music. I'm just going to give you a tour of my website while we're here. My music, all about me, who I am, and all the stuff that I've done over the years. My bands that I play in, all this kind of stuff. Hope the music doesn't start like it normally does. Videos, I have a whole lot of movies and stuff like this, and short films and all this kind of stuff. And importantly, you can buy all my and stream all my music from here as well too, in this really cool music player, which has all the YouTube links and all this kind of stuff, iTunes, all my bands that I play in, and all this kind of stuff. Now I'm showing you this because actually there's no real price drops or anything today, so there's that. So we're going to jump into today's app. Now you can probably hear outside there is a crazy wild thunderstorm going on here at the moment. I thought that might have been the problem of why I couldn't connect today. It doesn't seem to be. Who knows? So whatever. Let's just get on with the rock and roll, because today we're looking at Riffer. Yes, Riffer. And Riffer is really cool. It is made by AudioModern. And let's bring up this while we're at it and do this. Do a search for Riffer. Put it in here, and I'll say hello to you all while that's loading. Hello to everybody who has stuck around. Let me go right back to the top. Brad Example, Russ, I have an idea, Void, who else? Sai, it's effing good to see you. Synth Widow, wrong effect. Man, Russ, hello to you. Thomas Christ, who else? Colin Powell, hello. Restream bot, got all that stuff still there. Sean Chandler, g'day to you. Hello, Doug. Doug is here as well. Great video. If check out Doug's stream he just did on the visual synthesizer. That's what it's called. Jim Shannon Sounds, hello to you. It was a great video, Doug. Very cool. Anyone else who I'm missing? Said Thomas Christ. Wall is here as well. Oh, the usual suspects are here. Rick Lisk, hello Rick, good to see you. Hambo Hounslow, good to see you. Having a Doug moment. Cool, let's get into it, shall we? So Riffer is $7.99, so it's very cheap for what it does. Very cool what it does, and we're going to explore that very shortly. I also have some giveaways for Riffer, but as we do it now over on the Patreon, so those will be announced on the weekend. And If you'd like to be involved, you can become a patron. I wonder if my Patreon button... No, of course my Patreon button's not working. Why would that work? That would be ridiculous. Man, nothing is working. I went to bed, everything was working fine. Woke up this morning, nothing works. Go figure. I guess that's technology for you, yeah? You just got to ride with the punches. All right, so let's jump into Riffer today. But there's a link in the description for the Patreon if you'd like to join and all that stuff. Okay, let's go full screen. Action attraction. Thank you, Thomas Christ. You rule. Thank you so much. Damn you, Stream Deck to hell. Alrighty. Let's open up AUM because that's how we're going to be playing with Riffer today. And I'm going to run through how to use it, and I'm going to run through some examples. So first up, I'm going to load an example that so I made a bunch of these last night while I was playing around with this. Let's just load up this one. Fingers crossed it works. We're not really having a good day today already for technology. So this is a Riffer. Now to set up a Riffer, I'm going to go back and do this after I show you this. So let's just play this and see what's going on. So I've got, before I hit play, I've got an iSymphonic, I've got a Synthmaster 2, I've got a Waverly Tables, and I've got a Sample Tank American Acoustic in here. So let's hit play and see what's going on. And that would be right. Of course there's no sound because, you know, what's going to be next? No AUv3s? Well, I'll have to reboot my iPad? Should I really tempt fate like this? Let's see if it works now. Awesome, yeah. So I'm going to clear this out, and we'll come back to this a little bit later. But let's start afresh. Let's start up a new Riffer and show you what's going on, how to use it, and we'll make something just with one solitary instrument to start off with, and then we'll look at using multiple instruments like that. So to kick off, this needs to be inserted as a MIDI track. So we're going to click MIDI first. MIDI. And we'll do a search for Riffer. There it is. So we add that as a MIDI track. And now I'm going to add an audio track. I'm going to bring in just iSymphonic for this demonstration. So there is iSymphonic, okay, and make sure it's all working. So now we click on iSymphonic, and I want to select Riffer. Now for this demonstration, I can leave the MIDI channels to all, just for this particular demonstration. And now we're going to open up a Riffer, full screen, of course. So let's start with the middle, the glaring obvious stuff here. And this is your lovely little keyboard. Man, my brain is mush today. I feel like headbutting a wall, I'm telling you. So within here, before, now this is a lot of randomization in here, yeah? So before even, you can see there's a big dice sitting there up the top, big die up there to randomize. You can randomize heaps of stuff. But I just want to kick off by saying you can draw things in. Of course you can draw things in. So piano roll, that's the word I was looking at. Yeah, piano roll. So you can just draw stuff in. Bang. And hit play. And you're off. It sounds pretty terrible, yeah? But this is what you can do. And while it's playing. So you don't have to just rely on the die, yeah? Let's just focus on this section here too. So down the bottom here, you can change so you can change your octave, right? Very easily. So we'll go back into the center there. Now you can see here we have a C3 to a C4. You can actually make that larger by using this little slider here. Whee! So you can really give that plenty of space. And now I can draw in. You can bring that right back down. Just going to remove that, and you can do the slider and bring it back down to whatever you want. So you can go right down to just one note, or you can go, so what are we, C2, we'll just go to a C. There we go, we'll just go there. And to the right, you've got another slider which allows you to slide all the way up in between everything. So let's just remove all that stuff again. Go away. And we'll zoom in to, what do we want? We want to go B3. Let's go down a little bit to a, there we go. So we've got a C3 to C4 kind of there. So yeah, you can move this around to your heart's content. So we've got a C3 here. There we go. All right, so across the top of here, you have all of these wonderful notes, yes? So you can change this at a whim. Let's just stay here in a C. So at any time now, within this spectrum that I have set here, you'll see above these notes, you've got your wonderful chromatics, your blues, your minors, your Dorians, everything is there. There's so many, it's ridiculous, yeah? So we've got a minor selected here, and this is really cool. At any time, I can hit this little keypad here, and it'll rearrange anything that I draw in and arrange it to the scale. Boom. 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 No custom scales. Kavitsky would kill me. Yeah, unfortunately, but you know, hey, really, who's designing custom scales? Beethoven? I don't know. So there is just a quick little outline of what's going on there. So again, we can change the octave. And if I change this to a major and draw in something here, hit that little, and that's going to fix that up for you. So it'll always stay in your scale, yeah? Okie dokie, now that we've covered that, let's head over to the die and just hit the die once and see what it does. There you go. I'm going to just change the instrument here. What do we put? Let's put a... There we go, that's better. So, we can change the dice at any time. And to the left and the right of the dice, you have a whole bunch of options as well. So you can see here, there's an arrow pointing left. If I change this, everything will go backwards now. It will go to the right. And the key, the little button next to that, goes left and then to right. Or the other way, whichever way you started at. So it's going to bounce back and forward. And I can now hit the die again. Now if I want to remove any of these, if I were to just delete this whole thing, over here there is a little erase and just bang, it's gone. All good, so I can hit the die again. And we're off. So I'm just concentrating on one, because you've got 4 of these channels here. You've got 4 channels that you can make things in across the top here. But I'm just concentrating on one at the moment, and then we'll get into doing 4 of them at different timings and such. Okie dokie. Now over to the far, we'll come back over here, but over to the far right, you've got this infinity button here. So what this does when you turn it on, once it gets to the end and does a pass back and comes back around, it'll randomize each time. Boom, boom. And you can actually change this to make it, instead of just each time you go through, you can say make it change after 3 times or 4. Let's go 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and boom. And you can go up to 32 times, so you can let it go for 32 times. So let's just turn that off. To clear all the notes, right here. Right here, mate. Boom. Gone. Right here, mate. Gone. Righty, mate. There you go. Okay, so let's have a look down the right hand side. What's going on here? Because you've got 4 little sections here that are really important, and all these are independent of each other. So this is your pitch, you've got your duration, you've got velocity, and you've got this density, which is really interesting, this density button, yeah? So we'll kick off with the pitch. And this controls the notes, yeah? So every time I hit random, you're seeing all these change here, yeah? Now if we go down to the duration and hit the die, you'll see all of these change. And I can manipulate these as well. So you can remove notes from here, as well as delete them from delete the actual notes. So it's like you can gate from here as well, yeah? And again, I can just hit the die to bring that up. I can draw it straight across to keep everything at a constant duration, yeah? And there's a little over here, underneath this little button, there's a little level to bring everything down. So I can even hit the die and then bring them all down. This will flatten them out when you use this leveler. Now, so you've got a velocity as well. Let's have a look at the velocity. So when we hit the die, boom. And you can pull these down individually as well. That's up to you. You can, there's another level under there as well. So you can bring the volume right down with the velocity or make it all the same level. You can draw in your levels with your pencil as well. So that's cool. Let's just hit the random. And the last one is this density. And you'll see these lines here. Now, it's probably not going to work with this particular instrument that I have. So we'll show you the density soon with the guitar or something like that. In fact, we'll do that in another thing. Another project that I'll look at. So, let's go back to full screen. And just hit stop for a moment. Now, as I said, each of these are independent, each 4 of these. So as I click through on the far right, you can see me clicking through them there. Now, every time I hit the dice, yeah, all of these change. So if I hit here, all of these are changing all at the same time. Now, you can actually freeze these particular tracks as well. So let's show you how to do that. So here you are in the notes. So we'll just hit play. Now I want to keep these same notes but change the velocities. So up here next to the dice there's this little lock button. If I click this, you'll see that very faintly a little line has appeared. Probably see it just appear there. That means all of these pitches are now locked. So if I hit the dice, they're not going to change. So I just keep clicking the dice. They're not changing. But what is changing is everything else. So I can actually go in independently to each one of these and hit. Just say we'll go in and we'll go to the velocity, we'll lock it. We'll go to the density, we'll lock it. And now the only thing that'll change when I hit the die is the durations. Everything else stays exactly the same. Really handy for saving, you know, for saving setups and stuff like that, yeah? Really cool. So we'll unlock these now. Boom, boom. And now, when we hit the die, everything changes again. Now we'll come back to all of this and we'll look at the density again soon. But let's have a look at the right-hand side now. And we'll start from the bottom. This time on the right-hand side over here. You can hit sustain, so you can turn on sustained notes. You'll hear when I turn this on. So now there's some sustain with the notes. And you'll see up here, see how there's these 2 notes next to each other? And they're triggering 2 notes each time. If you get notes that are sitting together, you can actually lock them, tie them up together so they become one note. Just to give you an example to show you this. So if I turn off this tie notes now, you can't hear it as much because of the instrument that I've got, but we'll have a look at again at that with the guitar later on. But very handy. So also here you can control how many root notes are in your little section here, yeah? So I can choose 8 root notes. So this is in C. Or I can just bring it all the way down to just 1 or 2. You can change the steps here. So you can actually go, oh God, you can go up to 64 steps here. Down to 1. Oops, let's... Oh, come on. 16. Give me 16. 11 will do. There we go. All right, so something to be aware of. Up the top here as well. We'll come back over here to the steps. So you can decide how many notes you have within your steps here in your sequence. So currently you can see I've got 11. Now you can do this by just tapping it and typing in the number. So hit 16 and enter. And then, whoop, that didn't work. You can drag your finger up and down. And now we're back to 16. So now in this 16, I've got 16 steps in the sequencer. Now I can actually drag up the top here and I can take out, I can just keep like 8 notes in here. And when I hit the die, you'll see a whole lot of notes actually blacked out. So they're still in the sequence. They've just blacked them out. And at any time I can click on them if I want, turn them back on. Now here's where it gets fun. So what I'm going to do next is we're going to create four lanes here of the same sound, and watch what we can do. Yeah, so let's stop this. Let's just stop that for now. So we're in a C major, so we've got our C selected here and we've got a major selected here. We're in lane 1, and we'll hit random just to freshen things up. Hello Pete, welcome to you. Hello Kim, anybody else who's joined. I'm trying to get through this as kind of fast as I can because we started late thanks to YouTube. Okie doke. So what I have going on now, I mentioned at the start that I have the actual iSymphonic track set here to MIDI all, right? So this is all the MIDIs coming through, yeah? So in here, we've got our track. We'll just hit play again, and this is running at so in this little section here, this is your resolution, so it's running at a 16th here. I'm going to slow this down. Let's slow it down to a quarter. So now when I hit play, here's what we've got, and I'm going to bring the octave down. So this will be our bass. Okay, so now we've got our bass here. As I said at the beginning, you've got 4 lanes here. So across the top, we're in R1, R2, R3, and R4. So let's click on R2 now, and let's populate this, right? And you'll see this is set at a 16th over here. So all these lanes are completely independent of each other. So when you click between them, they're absolutely independent. Whatever changes you make in there doesn't affect the other channels unless you have all selected right at the end. So if you have all selected, everything will change if you hit a randomization or anything like that. So we want all off at the moment. And now this is our lane 1. Now we're going to go over to lane 2 and we're going to hit randomize. So now we've got 2 lanes running, one at a quarter resolution, the other at a 16th. Let's bring in another one and let's change this to, I don't know, half and hit random. Hang on a minute. So you can hear there's 3 different patterns going on there, yeah? So let's do a 4th one. And we'll bring this in at an 8th, yeah? And again, this is exactly what Walls put here. This is where, if something's not sounding right, you can actually change the notes. So you can touch on any of these notes. And you can go in between all of these. Move notes wherever you want. You can remove notes just by touching them and you'll see they change color, they grey out. Now at any time, let's just stop it for a moment. Whatever lane you're selected on here, right? So you can, if we're on lane 1 and we want to change this up, you can hit random, bang, and it's off. You just select a different lane and hit random. Or you can hit the all button like I mentioned, and this will, when I hit, everything will change. So I'm just showing you this just to, just show you one kind of way you can use this. So as I said, you can use different instruments, which we're going to have a look at now. So that was all just, when we go back to AUM, that's just using one instrument with the MIDI selected to all and just choosing choosing all 4 different lanes in here and changing the resolution here. So you're changing the different timing of everything to build things up, yeah? So there you go. That's just that. Let's close this out and let's go back to the project that we started with today. Let's erase this. God, what time did I start? It was probably around 20 past. Cool. So I'm going to load up the project that I had open today. See you later, Void. Okay, let's hit my files and bring in Riffer 1. So how have I set this up? This is a little bit different. So as you can see, I've got 4 instruments here. So I've got the iSymphonic, I've got the Synthmaster 2, the Waverly tables, and the Sample Tank acoustic guitar. Now, when I click on each of these, oops, I didn't want to do that. When you click on the little hamburger little thing here to each of these instruments, you'll notice I've got it pointed towards Riffer. So each of these are pointed towards Riffer. But when I scroll down to the bottom, you'll notice here in the MIDI section, this is normally, when you create a track, it normally has all of these selected. So what you want to do is, the way Riffer is set up, and I'll just give you a quick glance over to Riffer, in the options, you'll see these the MIDI outputs. So lane 1, R1, which is over here, is selected to channel 1, R2, channel 2, R3, channel 3, R4, channel 4. That's by default. So if you want to send your instruments to a different, so you have one instrument in each lane and you can split them all up, you just head over here, scroll to the bottom, hit none, and then choose MIDI channel 1. And then for the next instrument, you scroll down, choose Riffer, hit none to clear it, and then choose number 2. And likewise for all 4 of them. So now all 4 of these will show up in all 4 channels across the top. So you'll have the iSymphonic in number 1, you'll have Synthmaster 2 sitting in R2, Waverly in 3, and the acoustic guitar in 4. So now it's like a multi-out kind of deal, you know, multi-bus out kind of deal. And now let's hit play again, just to remind you of what we had in this. Boom. Makes a bit more sense, yeah? Now, it doesn't sound like such a cluttered, crazy mess. So let's just have a look at one of the tracks. So this is the iSymphonic. And this is going to R1. It's set to us, all these are set to a C, yeah? And I've got this actually set down an octave, just to give it, like, I want this to kind of be the base of the actual sequence. So let's have a look at Synthmaster. Here's Synthmaster. Now the one thing, let's have a look at the density now that we've got something running in here, because so this is over here to the right. Here's our pitch, duration, velocity. For certain instruments, you can turn this density off. You can like for the guitar, I think I have it turned off. I think the guitar is probably the best way for me to show it. Let's just jump to that now. We'll talk about the density. So here are in track 4. Now, you can see with my density here, I've got this locked, and I don't have anything turned up here in the density, right? Let's unlock the density here, and I'm going to bring up this, and look what it does to certain notes. Pretty cool, yeah? Ratchets. And you know, this might be too much for the guitar, so you can pull these right down. You get some really interesting sounds with that. So, and it's going to be different for every kind of instrument that you decide to use ratchets on. I'm gonna lock these ratchets in here. So again, we're on this density. I'm gonna head over here and just lock it now. So if I change this guitar up and hit the dice, the pitch has changed, the melodies changed, but we still got those ratchets still there. What's really cool, we're going to go back to the pitch here. You can actually select actual notes that you want to keep locked in. So you saw on the lock here, now that we're on pitch, if I hit this lock and hit the dice, none of these notes will change, yeah? The whole lot will stay the same. But you can individually just select the notes you want. So up here you've got notes and steps. Now that I've got this selected, I can touch any notes that I want. So I'm going to select now. When I hit the dice, watch, a whole bunch will stay in the same position. So only a few notes are changing around it. You can turn that off, and now when I hit the dice, everything will change again, yeah? Same thing for the steps. You can do the same thing with the steps. You can actually draw in. See, I'm drawing a line across the top here. So I can just select all these steps. Now when I hit the dice, only the last few notes will change. And to get rid of them, you can just draw them in and out, yeah? So it's really cool. Just go to my pencil. So we have these steps selected. I can just draw across whatever I want and then draw to get rid of. So I may just want these. Now when I hit the dice, everything around changes. There's a hell of a lot of customization here. It is just utterly unbelievable, yeah? Even to the point here, I showed you briefly before, if I want to remove some notes, just up here, I can drag this down, hit the dice. But wait. There's more. So I can actually control this. I can stop this and start this with MIDI as well, with my MIDI keyboard. So I've got my keyboard here. It's probably not a good one to do because it's using iSymphonic for the keys, but up the top here, let's just do this. There's a little MIDI button. See, I've clicked that now and all the sounds have stopped. But if I hit a key on my keyboard, it starts until I let go. Let's just bring some notes back. So we've got 16 notes again. Pretty cool, yeah? So if I bring all these back in now, let's just unsolo this. So now that everything's back in, let's go over to track 1 and turn on the MIDI learn. And you'll notice that that underlying bass line is gone. Until I hit a key, it comes back in. Now if I click all, everything stops. And just by hitting a key on my keyboard, everything comes back in. I'm going to let go. Pretty ace, yeah? Okay, let me show you something else. Down the bottom, we have this little preset section. When I click on that, you'll notice I've already got, there's a whole lot of these that are kind of grayed in, and this number 1's flashing. You can save a preset any time you like, and it'll save everything. Everything that's in this whole lot, yeah? And how do you do that? You just head over to a blank space and just click it. It's done. That's now saved. So I've got a few saved here. Number 1, let's click on number 1 and watch what happens. And you'll see this is in C minor. Now if I hit number 2, everything will change to an E minor. So you can change the keys, change each of the resolutions of each of the tracks. It's just, this is just, I love this app so much. Again, like Chord Jam, last night I made a bunch of stuff and just left it running and went and laid down on my bed and had this running for like an hour. It was wonderful. Kind of like lovely meditational stuff. You can really chill to this. There's just a lot of usage for this stuff. Now there's so much more I can go into, yeah, because there's a lot of depth here. If I we'll go back up to here to the infinity and watch it change after every run. We can slow this down as well. So we've brought this down to 66 because it's synced to AUM. So another really cool thing you have here is something that's really handy. You've got an undo button, and I'm pretty sure this undo, it's either like, I think it's like 60 undos. It's either 40 or 60. I can't remember. I think it's 60 undos. So if you're prone to making a fuckload of mistakes, just think you can undo like 1,000,000 times. Well, 60 times, which is kind of 1,000,000 really. You've got a panic button up here as well. So if you get a stuck note, you can always hit the panic button and that'll kill any stuck notes. Yeah. You've got a MIDI learn button. Look at this. You can actually hit this and then look at all the options here. You can choose anything you want here and assign it to a knob. Yeah. So I can hit this sustain notes. And did that work? But you can go ahead and do all of this stuff. I think it's because I don't have. Yeah, I do have it set. So you can go ahead and do the MIDI learn. Let's just clear all the settings there. So there's heaps of MIDI learn sessions, sections, all that stuff. Whole lot of MIDI channel stuff here. So you can go right in here and really mess with all the MIDI stuff. Whole lot of stuff to change your mappings here. Really don't have time to go into all of that, of course, in such a short period of time. Let's close that. And here, so as you can see down the bottom, let's just close this. So down the bottom here where all these presets are, you saw me save one before. When you save one down here, and see if you make changes, let's just go over here to this. What have we got? Let's just play this one. If I make changes to this, so if I hit the dice and change that, all I need to do to update it is just hold down on this number 9, and now it's updated. Really cool, easy to do. So where are all those stored? All these little 1 to, what have we got, 16 I think of them. Up here you've got this little pencil. This is where all your presets are stored up here, and you can see number 9 selected. So there it is there, and you can choose between all these here. You can save as a MIDI file, so you can actually go down here and save as a MIDI file. So let's just do that for fun. Let's we'll go to number 1 here, go up here to the pencil, hit save MIDI file, and now I can save this straight into, if my iPad's going to play nice today. Dude, shut down. So I can save it straight into Audio Share. Boom. There we go. So now if I go over to Audio Share, it should be sitting where I just saved it. There it is. There's the MIDI. So now you can go and open this up in whatever else you like. So there's plenty of options with this app. So much you can do with it. Very, very cool. And again, I'm only just very barely scratching the surface. Let's open up another project I created last night. What do we got? Let's just try this one. So what, I can't even remember what I did. So I've got a Ravenscraft, I've got a pure piano, and I've got two, it looks like two beat hawks in here. So let's see what's going on. I think 7 and 8, I think it is. Yeah. So let's hit play and hear what's going on here. We've even got a choir in there. We've got an organ at the end. Let's change to number 8. Remember, you can go into these individual and change up the octaves. So here's the other thing I want to show you, yeah? With this, let's zoom in a bit. With this particular choir that I set up, with the vocal here, here's where the beauty of being able to edit notes is. Because every time I hit the dice here, see, I've got it locked. I've put the little lock on because I don't want this to change at all. All right? So let's unlock it. And then when I hit the dice, I found that I was getting patterns that were too out of range and just not sounding right. So here's where it's really cool that you can come in here and manipulate this stuff. So now when we bring everything back in, just lovely. So let's just have a look. Going back to the density here, you can see I've got the density set for these 3 notes. I can turn these up. It's just fucking awesome, man. I love this app. I can't praise it enough. It's just really beautiful. So just to show you something else, I made this one as well. And then we'll get out of here. So thanks for your patience, everybody, for today's show, with it being late. Thanks to YouTube. Don't know how I'm going to sort that out, whatever was wrong. Let's just hit random on all of them and see what happens. Yeah, there is, Greg. You can actually go into, you can remove notes just by touching them. The other way you can do it is just by going into the duration and just pulling notes down. Or you can go into the velocity. So you can almost even, like, you know, dot them as well. Now everything's dotted because I had it selected to all. So now everything's like that. Really, really cool. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, there you go. The options are just it's limitless. It's all in your control. It's all in your creativity. These AudioModern makes some just absolutely spellbinding apps just to not only give you randomization options if you don't have ideas. It's really good to create ideas, but from those ideas you can build on top of those, export these out into other apps, save the midis. Exactly. Just what Wal said just then. Just buy it. That's it. Like it's a really good thing for if you're struggling with creativity. I think both Chord Jam and this one is definitely something. So not only for creating great music, but if you are struggling to come up with ideas, this is a great ideas palette. Chord Jam's great for creating chords. This is great for creating the sequences and ideas. Just beautiful. And the ability to manipulate the piano roll once you create a randomization, it's just limitless. Very, very powerful. And remember, you have your entire palette of iOS apps that are AUv3 or inter-app audio. Look at them all. All these apps that you collect can be used as instruments in here. Plus, you know, you can add your effects to lines. It's just beautiful. Remember, you can open this up in things like, you can open this up in Cubasis as well. Say in Nano Studio 2. Sorry, GarageBand users, not for you. But yeah, so if you are wanting to maybe win a copy of this, as I said, we are doing the giveaways over on the Patreon now, so you can become a patron at any time, and each weekend we have a whole bunch of apps to give away. So, and you've got a better chance on the Patreon because there's less people and more apps. Happy days. All right, everybody. Thank you for your patience today with the stream running out. I'll try and sort it out for tomorrow. I'm going to have to do some testing. I hope you have a wonderful day and make lots of music, or don't make lots of music and take a day off from making music, because that's okay too. Remember, do the things that always make you happy. Yeah? Happy life equals happy life. And mistakes make you better. I'll see you tomorrow. We are looking at tomorrow. I can't remember. Do I really want to open my Photos app? I'm too scared to open the Photos app. What's going to be in there today? Oh, no. We got this tomorrow. This one. We're looking at Eventide. Yeah. Crystals Harmonizer. And then after that, we have the day after, we're interviewing Brad Example. Yeah. So that's going to be awesome. Please be here for that, because there's a really great story you're going to want to hear. You're going to want to hear about the bear. That's all I'll say. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Hopefully back on the Twitch, hopefully back on Facebook. And that is the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.